We spend our whole lives building walls to protect ourselves from judgment.
That makes sense, though, right? Nobody wants to get hurt.
Here's the paradox. Research shows those walls are exactly what's keeping us from the deep connections we crave.
Wait, so protecting ourselves actually backfires?
Exactly. The armor we wear to protect ourselves is the same armor that prevents us from being truly seen, loved, and connected. Welcome back. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jake.
Today we're exploring the power of vulnerability based on Brene Brown's research from Daring Greatly.
This feels personal. I've always thought vulnerability was weakness.
You're not alone. That's exactly the myth we're tackling today. Brown spent over a decade analyzing more than 400,000 data points.
That's massive.
And what she found flips everything on its head. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's actually the birthplace of love, belonging, creativity, and joy.
That's counterintuitive.
It is. We'll break down why hiding your struggles actually pushes people away, and how sharing them builds deeper connections. Let's start with the vulnerability myth. We've been taught that asking for help is failure.
Yeah, totally. Admitting you don't know something feels like weakness.
Right. Society labels these moments as failures. But Brown's research reveals the opposite.
How so?
Every meaningful connection you've ever had started with someone being vulnerable first.
I guess my closest friendships did start when someone opened up.
Exactly. Think about it. When your friend shares a struggle, don't you feel closer to them?
Yeah, I do.
That's the paradox. We love seeing vulnerability in others because it builds trust. But we hate showing it ourselves because it feels dangerous.
So we're stuck.
Let's talk about the armor we wear. Brown identified 3 main protective strategies we all use.
Like what?
First is perfectionism. The belief that if I'm perfect, I can avoid shame and judgment.
Guilty. I spent 3 hours perfecting a presentation that only needed to be good enough.
That's the trap. Perfectionism actually increases shame because you can never meet impossible standards.
What's the second strategy?
Numbing. Overeating, overworking, scrolling social media for hours. We use these to avoid feeling vulnerable emotions.
Wait, numbing works, though. It protects us from pain.
Here's the problem. You cannot selectively numb emotions.
What do you mean?
When you numb vulnerability and pain, you also numb joy, gratitude, and love.
Oh, wow. So the armor blocks everything?
Exactly. The third strategy is foreboding joy.
That's a weird term.
It's when something good happens, but instead of enjoying it, you immediately brace for disaster.
Like when you get a promotion and immediately worry you'll mess it up?
Yes, it's a protection mechanism. If I don't let myself feel joy, I won't be disappointed when it's taken away.
But then you never actually enjoy the good stuff.
Correct? Now let's talk about shame versus guilt. This distinction changes everything.
Aren't they the same?
No. Shame says I am bad. Guilt says I did something bad.
That's subtle but huge.
Guilt is adaptive. It motivates behavior change. You think, I made a mistake, I can fix this.
And shame?
Shame is corrosive. It tells you you're fundamentally flawed. There's nothing to fix because you're the problem.
That's harsh.
It is. Learning to recognize when you're feeling shame versus guilt is the first step to building shame resilience.
Is that like noticing the feeling before it takes over?
Exactly right. So how do you actually build that resilience? Brown identified common traits among people who live with deep connection and joy. She calls it wholehearted living.
So what does that mean?
They embrace vulnerability, practice gratitude, believe they're worthy of love, and cultivate self-compassion.
So they're fearless?
No. Wholeheartedness isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling fear and showing up anyway.
That takes courage.
Exactly. Brown says courage is telling your story with your whole heart. Let's make this actionable. Remember the vulnerability paradox in practice.
Right, we love it in others, but hate showing it ourselves.
So here's a practical shift. Instead of saying, I have to be strong, try, I'm struggling and I need help.
That feels scary.
It does. But here's what happens. When you share your struggle, you give others permission to do the same.
So it creates a safe space?
Exactly. Another shift. Instead of, I can't show weakness, try sharing this might help someone else feel less alone.
That reframes it completely. It's not about you being weak. It's about helping others.
Yes. Start small. You don't have to share your deepest trauma at a work meeting.
Thank goodness.
But you can say things like, I'm not sure about this. Can we think through it together?
That's doable.
Or, this is new territory for me. I'd love your input.
Those feel safer.
And here's the key. Notice what happens when you do this.
What do you mean?
Pay attention to how people respond. Most of the time, they'll meet your vulnerability with empathy, not judgment.
And if they don't?
Then you've learned something important about that person. Not everyone earns the right to hear your story.
So vulnerability isn't about oversharing with everyone?
No, it's about being selective. Share with people who have earned your trust.
That makes it feel safer.
Here's what strikes me most about this research.
What's that?
We spend so much energy protecting ourselves from pain. But in doing so, we also block out the good stuff.
The joy, the connection, the love.
Exactly. And the ironic part? The walls we build to feel safe actually make us feel more alone.
I've noticed that. The times I felt most connected were when I stopped pretending everything was fine.
That's the power of vulnerability. It's not about being weak. It's about being real.
And real connection beats fake perfection every time.
Always. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be seen and accepted for who we actually are, not who we pretend to be. So here's your takeaway. The armor you wear to protect yourself might be the very thing keeping you from the connections you crave.
Try sharing small vulnerabilities with people you trust.
Notice how it deepens the relationship. Pay special attention to how people respond with empathy instead of judgment.
And remember, courage is telling your story with your whole heart.
If you found this helpful, subscribe for more insights on building deeper connections.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.